In this video, I want to talk about the 4 characteristics I think a leader/mentor should have. What's going on, guys? Armando Gong here, back with another video, here to give you some clarity, direction in your life, and to help expand your headspace. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to my channel and click the notification bell to find out whenever I push out new videos. I wanted to talk about this topic because, quite honestly, I'm pretty triggered by President Trump in his speeches and how he's been dealing with the coronavirus situation. And I thought that it'd be good for us to reflect on how this applies into our lives in terms of who we look towards for leadership, mentorship, and just direction, and try to learn from the situation. I think that there are 4 qualities and characteristics a leader should have. These are in no particular order of importance, so let's get to it. The first one is accountability, meaning that you actually take responsibility for the actions that you and your organization has taken, as well as the people under you. And this is one of those big things that Trump really does it poorly for me, meaning that he doesn't ever take any responsibility for anything that he does. It's always somebody else's fault. I think that if you are our leader, you should be the one that's taking full responsibility regardless of what happens, honestly. Because he takes responsibility for things that go good, you should always take responsibility for things that do not go as well. I feel that as a leader, he should be taking responsibility for a lot of these actions, but there are definitely lots of clips of him saying that he's not accountable for anything.
Dr. Fauci said earlier this week that the lag in testing was in fact a failing. Do you take responsibility for that? And when can you guarantee that every single American who needs a test will be able to have a test? What's the date of that?
Yeah, no, I don't take responsibility at all because we were given a set of circumstances and we were given rules, regulations, and specifications from a different time.
The second thing I think that a good leader/boss/whomever should have is humility, meaning that they understand that they could be wrong and that they are willing to accept that other people know more than them. And I'll be honest, Trump doesn't do that either. I really don't want to just be ragging on Trump a lot, but quite honestly, this is why I'm making this video. Whenever anyone contradicts him, he always goes off in a tiff, goes off tweeting everybody and just making lots of complaints without acknowledging that the other person may or may not be correct. And I think that as a good leader, you should always be willing to see what the argument is that the other person is presenting, try and understand it, maybe actually believe it, and see if they're actually being correct in what they say and that your viewpoint actually is incorrect, and actually change your decision based on that. And I do not think that Trump is a good example of any of this, especially in terms of the coronavirus situation, where he did not take into account a lot of the advice by medical experts. He's looking to try and open up businesses by Easter, when if you apply any type of critical thinking to this, it doesn't make sense because all experts are pointing that we're actually hitting a surge in this situation, not going down on the curve. And it doesn't make sense to me why you would go that and go against a lot of professional opinions and not willing to take into account their expert advice. That's one blatant example of how he is not humble enough to understand this. Related to that is my third characteristic, which is having some critical thinking ability. And that to me means that you're able to think through the process and take assumptions, take into all info that is provided to you, in order to reach a logical conclusion. And then that is based on truth, facts, because quite honestly, you need to be able to think through these actions, how things will go about, all these processes in order to reach a logical conclusion. There needs to be some type of logic and process to a person's decision making, and not let it be guided by your emotions, your passion, your whims, your thoughts basically. Because I feel like I need to trust someone who can think why they made a decision rather than them saying that I just felt like it. I may or may not agree with that person's decision, but if I at least understand their thought process, I could be like, okay, I get it. I still don't agree with it, but I can respect him for that. Again, Trump is a pretty easy target for this, and I don't think I need to go too much further into this. And I think the fourth quality that people should have as a leader or a mentor is being authentic and transparent in their communications. And Trump, as a politician, does not exemplify this for me, but I feel like pretty much a lot of politicians can fall under this, so I'm gonna hold off on beating Trump on this for a bit. Because I feel that to be authentic and transparent, you need to speak your feelings, You need to be honest in what you are saying. You do not try and mince words in order to put your point down. It also takes into account that you may or may not know something, and you're actually willing to say that you may or may not know something and not lie about it. I feel that pretty much most politicians aren't authentic or transparent, and the few that are very not recognized enough. This pretty much turned into a big ragging on Trump speech, but at the same time, I feel that he does not exemplify a lot of the leadership qualities that I find in people that I follow, than people that I look to for guidance, and that's the main reason why I wanted to make this video. There's no accountability, no humility. I find that he lacks a lot of critical thinking ability, and he's not being authentic and transparent in his day-to-day communications, especially with this whole coronavirus situation. And I think that it's good for us all to reflect on the situations in our life and see if we can apply that in our lives to change who we follow, who we look to. Like maybe your boss is like this, where they're lacking certain things. Maybe there's something you can change about that. Or maybe some person you followed who looked to for knowledge doesn't have any of this, and it may be time for you to look towards somebody else in terms of getting just some knowledge, some guidance, and direction. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, please leave a comment below, and there are more videos where they came from in the playlist that are following towards the end of this video. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so and click the notification bell. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and have a good one, guys. Later.